Our guest tonight is Lucha Underground executive producer Chris DeJoseph. How you doing tonight?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about Lucha Underground.
We are so pumped to have it back because on June 13th, Lucha Underground returns to the El Rey Network for its fourth season. What is the excitement level from the wrestlers and the backstage crew for the launch of yet another fantastic season?
Oh, I think it's probably like above 100%. It's like 125% excitement rating. I think everybody, it's been a while, and I think everybody is super excited to be back on the air, back on the El Rey Network, and to be back to let the fans finally get to see what we've kind of held secret for a few months now. But it's going to be well worth the wait.
Well, you mentioned the Lucha believers were left with a lot of question marks following the Season 3 finale. What are some of the biggest changes fans should expect when tuning in for Season 4?
Well, one thing for sure is that we are in a whole new warehouse. It's a new temple, and basically based off of the end of Season 3, the temple had to relocate to this old ice house, and it's a pretty cool thing. But just like the old temple, this new temple is just as big a character in the show as the old one was.
Mike Chiari, next question.
Yeah, well, most wrestling companies, with WWE serving as the prime example, are year-round entities with programming or shows every single week throughout the year. But from your perspective, what are some of the biggest advantages for Lucha Underground when it comes to taking breaks in the middle of and in between seasons? And also, what are some of the biggest challenges that you have to overcome with that?
Well, I think we'll start with the challenges. For me, the challenges is you're not on every week. It's not necessarily appointment viewing every single week. You're used to watching Raw every Monday, or you're used to watching SmackDown every Tuesday or Friday or whenever it's on. But Lucha Underground, it's on the Wednesdays, and when it comes back, it's there for a shorter period of time. But to me, I think one of the advantages of not having 52 shows a year is that it gives a bit of an off season. It gives fans some time to digest. It gives everybody a little bit of break, a little rest, and it even gives the audience some time to kind of build anticipation again and get really hyped up for it. To come back again. So I think that's one cool advantage of it, is that you just it's not the same thing every week. You get a little bit of rest and you're like, oh my God, Lucha's back. Yes, I can't wait to watch more.
I've literally never felt that with WWE in the last 10 years. So just for the record, I don't know what that feels like.
Either have I. So.
PG?
Well, we've always said that Lucha Underground nails its presentation and production decisions, whereas it seems a company like WWE continues to struggle with commercials during matches and other weird experiments. When you see WWE's presentation and how you present Lucha Underground, is there anything that you're looking to implement in the future?
Implement as far as ours, or something that they do that we would like to implement?
Yeah, for Lucha Underground, like future tapings.
No, I mean, I think what we do is its own kind of world, and I think I don't think that they can replicate what we do, and I don't necessarily think our show fits what their model is. They have this big live event that takes place in arenas all over the world, where ours is kind of like Lucha Underground kind of exists in its own world in this temple, and we have the look and feel of a Robert Rodriguez movie, and we've got I just think it's a totally different animal. The production, the way we shoot our vignettes, even the action. I don't think there's really any comparison.
Well, I'm an Impact Wrestling fan. I'm one of the 7. But the relationship between Lucha Underground and Impact, it's growing. Cyrus is doing great things over there. I'm not going to complain about it. But the relationship between the promotions, right, Lucha and Impact Wrestling, has grown in recent months. A lot of people are taking notice.
Yeah.
How did the partnership come about? And do you think Lucha, do you think there's plans for expanding on that relationship?
Yeah, I think really the partnership kind of started, with AAA and then Dorian Roldan is an executive producer and investor in Lucha Underground, and we have a connection with AAA, and they had a connection with Impact. And I don't want to speak for them, but I think it just made sense for everybody, I think, business-wise, to be like, hey, we can keep everybody working. We can all work together to kind of achieve the same goal and work together rather than wrestling companies or, I mean, in our case, it's TV shows competing against each other. Like, in a way, we're trying to help each other and elevate each other and I think bring more eyeballs to each other's brands.
Mike Chiari, next question.
Sexy Star was obviously a huge part of Lucha Underground during the first few seasons, but there's a lot of backlash across the wrestling world following the situation between her and Rosemary. So what went into the decision-making process regarding whether or not to include her in Season 4, and how did that impact any plans that you might have had?
Well, I mean, obviously we have some plans with her. Her character will not be forgotten in this season, that's for sure. We try not to forget any storylines. We don't just one of my biggest pet peeves in wrestling is when just the storyline starts and then it's just forgotten about and never addressed again. It's like it never happened. So, we try our best to make sure that happens. But, as far as that, it's, I think is, some of the things are mutual decisions between characters and talents, but that totally didn't 100% impact our decision on where we went with it. But I don't want to give any spoilers, so.
Brandon Gowan?
Thank you. Please don't.
Yeah, please. You know how hard it is to avoid Wikipedia with Lucha Underground? It is literally the plight of my existence, trying to just, I'm doing an article for Bleacher Report, I have to find out. I got my right hand covering the results on the side of the Wikipedia page. I don't know who champions are. I'm struggling every day here.
The Prince Puma.
I don't know if that Wikipedia is, and the other thing is, I don't even know if that Wikipedia is always 100% accurate, because I think some of the stuff, the people who've been to the shows and have spoiled it, not necessarily know all the things that really happened or things that we shot that they maybe not have saw. Yeah.
You called them
don't
fans.
Believe all that stuff out.
You called them fans. I call them assholes. BG.
The Prince Puma character was my favorite in Lucha Underground since the debut episode. So was it difficult to see him leave after everything that was built for 3 seasons? And were there any challenges from a writing perspective in trying to replace such an iconic character?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's challenges to replace your main character of the show. The whole first 3 seasons were based around Prince Puma and his mythology and his place in this in the world of Lucha Underground. But I think it was tough. It's tough to lose Trevor, Ricochet, Prince Puma, for those who don't know. He was kind of the heart and soul of Lucha Underground, but I'm glad that he had the opportunity to go somewhere else and has a chance to show the rest of the world what he can do. But as far as replacing him, I think we set ourselves up pretty well with a bunch of characters that are over, that people care about. So I wasn't too concerned necessarily about that. I mean, we still have Johnny Mundo. We've got Phoenix. We've got Mil Muertes. And I mean, those are characters that we've invested a lot of time in. And not to mention, we have Pentagon Dark. And to me, Ultima Lucha Trace was kind of a passing of the torch from Puma to Pentagon as kind of the key kingpin of Lucha Underground.
Mike Chiari, final question?
How do you believe getting Lucha Underground on Netflix has helped in terms of growing the popularity of the product and generating hype for Season 4? And also, what are you hoping to get out of that partnership moving forward?
Well, for me, I think, if anything, being on Netflix gave the opportunity for a lot more people to be able to see Lucha Underground that may not have. I can't tell you how many times I've either been talking to people and somebody has mentioned that they've noticed it on Netflix, or they didn't even know it existed and they saw it on Netflix, or I've seen tweets where people are like, "Oh, I'm watching Season 1 of Lucha Underground. It's so awesome." And I mean, these are tweets that came out a couple months ago. This has been in existence for 3 years. So I think that's a good thing. And it also gives fans an opportunity to binge watch it. So if you can go on Netflix and if you haven't seen it, it's very easily bingeable television. There's lots of cliffhangers, lots of great action, and the shows are only 45 minutes without with no commercials. So it's it's pretty quick, and before you know it, you've watched 6-7 episodes of Lucha Underground, and you've lost your whole day. So to me, I think that's a great thing. In the future, I don't know what the future holds between Lucha Underground and Netflix. That's not really a decision for me to make, but hopefully we continue to be on there and more people get to see Lucha Underground and it stays on there. So we'll see.
Well, a huge thank you to our guest tonight, Lucha Underground executive producer Chris DeJoseph. Check out the season 4 debut of Lucha Underground on June 13th on the El Rey Network. Tell the fans where they can support you, my friend.
Yeah, you can just follow me at Chris DeJoseph on Twitter. That's pretty much it. Other than that, watch Lucha Underground. Watch it Wednesday, June 13th. You are not going to want to miss it. It's a huge special, and there is going to be a match that's going to be on that show that you won't believe that is coming. So it's going to be a huge surprise, and it's going to be lots of fun.
I am so effing excited. I have to just shoot from the hip for a second here. I'm going to take off my professional hat, put it down, and just be a mark for a second. We've watched every episode since day one, and this show is an epiphany to us, and we absolutely love it. I don't want any spoilers, but I just want to say thank you to you for kicking so much ass at this. We absolutely love this, man.
It's the best.
We have to watch so much wrestling. I watched WWE I watched so many hours of WWE over the last week, and sometimes I hate myself inside because of it. And you just mentioned binge watching Netflix. Like, I need to dedicate more of my time to wrestling, but I know for a fact now that I'm going to be like, yeah, let's put it on. I got nothing better to do. Let's put it on, baby. And then my wife is just getting closer and closer to signing those divorce papers as we go along. Listen,
yeah, that's great. I do know that you guys have supported us since day one, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about Lucha and to continue to watch it. And I'm glad that it makes you guys so excited, because for me, the same thing. It's like I've loved wrestling my whole life, and in this I get to be a fan again, and that's what makes it fun for me too.
It's got an ECW-like feeling, not in terms of the wrestling itself, but in terms of like the cult-like following it's developing. In terms of it's something we never saw before, and it's something that really is making waves, and we absolutely love it. Well, listen, another huge thank you to Lucha Underground executive producer Chris DeJoseph. Good luck moving forward, sir.
Okay, guys, thank you.